That's unless we are 39 days out. So workout for today is behind the neck push presses. I use these as an accessory for all the other overhead stuff, for logs. I've got pause squats. Basically, I work up to a triple, and then I do one Backoff set for an AMRAP. Then we've got deadlifts, and lastly, dead hangs, which is really just nice after all the spinal loading to kind of decompress and hang out. So a couple of things I'm focusing on here on the deadlift, which is the biggest thing for me. I'm focusing on just actually, I pull with a rounded back style, right? I don't have any problems with it. I've got a short torso. I never have back injuries, but because if you guys are being told that's the wrong way to deadlift, I've kind of avoided it, even though it's just the easiest way for me to pull. And I can lock in my back when it's slightly round. It doesn't round anymore. So it's perfect. So I'm just focusing on actually utilizing that as much as possible. And yeah, anyway, let's go. Alright, so that was behind the neck presses. Guys, remember, variation can be your friend, right? I could be doing regular push presses, could be doing strict press, but what I've been experimenting with recently is changing a variation, my accessories, every new block of training. Not quite conjugate style, I'm not changing it every week, but let's say for every 4 to 6 week block. And what that does, it lets me progress very linearly week to week because it's something I'm not used to. And that way you don't really have to think too much about how exactly you want to do your progression. You can just rotate in a movement and get good at that movement over a block period. And then once you've hit a good number there, you switch it back out to another movement. Also similar, let's say after the side to side, I want to do regular push press, or I want to go to behind the neck jerks or whatever. I can rotate in slightly different movement, get a new stimulus, and then because it's almost like newbie gains, I can progress that linearly again. So, question of why would you do pause squats? 3 reasons. First, power out of the bottom. If you get good at pause squats, because you have to pause, there's no more stretch reflex. It's way harder out of the bottom. Second reason is good bracing. To be able to sit at the bottom of a squat like that, you have to be really good at keeping tight, otherwise you'll just fall over. And 3, it's an easy way to do more than 1 day of squatting in a week and not risk being too fatigued for your other session. Because even though they're very hard, the total load is pretty low. This was 125 for a triple. I did 120 last week. My best high bar squat is 180. Relatively speaking, it's not a lot of load. So, those are the reasons why you might choose to do pause squats. So you guys get an idea of the pacing. That entire pause squat workout, all the warm-ups, the working sets, and the Backoff Sets, plus my speech at the end, was just under 11 minutes. So, stop taking so much rest time. Now look, there's a time and a place to take 3 to 5 minutes of rest in between sets, but at the beginning of a cycle, when you're super unfit and unadapted to volume, take advantage of density. Okay, it'll mean that you don't have to use as much weight because it's going to be way harder and you're going to get an insane developmental stimulus out of it. And it's going to be better down the line because you're going to be really fit by the time you get to the heavy weight, and you can move out the rest to be longer. But build the base first. Alright lads, so deadlift done. For your guys' info, I wrote this deadlift routine or progression specifically because my deadlift has been limited by me either doing a shitty peak or by mental blocks preventing me from pulling heavy. So at the end of my last volume block, before my last competition, I did a set of 200 for 12, dead stop every rep. Now, based on that, I should have been able to pull way more than 240. Now, I did fuck up my peak, which is a big part of the reason why. But another reason is just, you can see my pulling style. It's very explosive. At a certain point, the weight will come off the floor fine. Then at some point, it will just stick. So what I'm doing now is just doing a lot of heavier practice, which I haven't done because I've been focused on volume for a while. So now I'm basically just focusing on building the heavier sets. And 2, on my second days, which you guys will see later, I'm doing deficit deadlifts in order to work on that power off the floor. Because I know if that weight moves off the floor, there's no way I'm not making it, right? But the question is, if it gets stuck, it just gets stuck. There's no grinding it. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe. And I'm posting a new video every single day that I train. So that's 6 days a week. So if you want to stay up to date with how I'm doing in comp prep, then subscribe and I'll see you tomorrow.